Welcome back into the Morning Rush. Got an exciting new guest, Derrian Ford, 4-star shooting guard out of Magnolia in the 2022 basketball class. Derrian, good morning. Thanks for making some time for us, buddy.
Thank you so much, sir.
So I was listening to what your head coach, Ben Lindsay, had to say about you. And one of the things that stood out to me, Derrian, is he talked about the effort you put in practice, and he called you the hardest working player he's coached at any level. Derrian, what does that mean to you, man?
Man, that meant a lot to me. It let me know that my game, I know he had coached on the college level, so that even let me know even more that I'm working harder than a lot of college people. And I just thank my dad so much because he's the one that instilled that to me. Like, we just work every day, every night. And so we work a lot all the time.
Derrian, you bring up your dad, Darnell. It was this past Father's Day weekend. How has your dad helped you grow on the court over the years?
My dad taught me everything. I try to do everything he does. Even if he forgets some of the things he tells me, I try to tell him some of the things he done taught me. So if something doesn't go right, I'd be like, Dad, you remember what you had told me to do if this happens? So sometimes I even use the things he tell me, I tell him.
We're speaking with 4-star shooting guard Derrian Ford this morning on the Morning Rush. Derrian, when you look at this past season, your sophomore year, unfortunately, like so many others across the country, it was cut short. You guys upset Mills when you were a true freshman in the state championship. Man, you were set to battle them again. How bad did you want to play the Comets again this year?
Man, the whole team was ready. I was ready. We had been working so hard to get to that point of the season. It hurt us bad, but we know that God had made that decision, and it wasn't no mistake. And we just thank God, and hopefully we can get back to that same point of stage we got last season to this season. I just feel that we trying to put Magnolia on the map. We do have a lot of talent down here. We just want the whole world to know. So winning back-to-back state championships is a very big goal for us.
Derrian, what other goals have you set for yourself, not only as a team, but individually as you continue at Magnolia?
One of the biggest goals I set myself to have, or to accomplish, just work on my craft and be perfected to its peak and be able to play on the professional level when I be able to step on the court this high school season.
Looking at your game right now, Derrian, what do you think the biggest thing you have to improve on at this very moment?
I feel that I need to improve on all parts of my game. I don't feel that I can never get too good at a particular aspect of the game. I just try to work on every part of the game that I can.
So, Derrian, I brought up Little Rock Mills. One of the talented players that's in your class in 2022 is Javon Guy Keene. Do you have a relationship with him of any sorts? Have you guys talked? You ribbed him a little bit that you guys won the championship your freshman year?
We just got done talking a few hours ago, this morning, talking about working out with each other. Me and him very competitive. We know when we step on the court, we're not friends at that time, but off the court, we're pretty close.
Nick Smith out of Sylvan Hills, Joseph Pena out of Morrilton, and the Khalil Ware out of North Little Rock. You guys are thought to be top 100 kids in the upcoming 22 class. You talked about your conversations with Javon. Have you talked with Khalil? Have you talked with Joseph? Have you talked with Nick at all?
I talked with Khalil, not last weekend, but the weekend before. We had practice with each other. We played on the same AAU team. I talk to Joseph every now and then, and me and Nick talk about anything. That we'll talk about we don't even be about basketball, just be about life sometimes.
Speaking with Derrian Ford here on the Morning Rush. So, Derrian, you're getting a chance now this upcoming season for in-state guys. You have Moses Moody, KK Robinson, Jalen Williams, and Devontae Davis. They're all at Arkansas. Are you excited to see these in-state kids play for the Razorbacks and potentially what you guys could be doing in a couple years?
I know Arkansas got a blessing, man. Those some talented players, and I know they're going to do big things for the program. I hope the best for them. I hope they can take it all the way. I just pray that they can really see that Arkansas has some talent.
Derrian, you're still 2 years away from college, but those guys I just mentioned, they've already signed their letters of intent. You've had others that have come before you. Who have you talked to as you get closer and closer to making your college decision?
To be honest with you, I haven't talked to too many players older than me about the recruitment process, but I have a lot of people in my circle that knows about the recruitment process, so I always ask them questions about what to expect, what to do in a certain situation, and they help me.
Derrian, it was funny. Our relationship kind of started. Your uncle Mark was sending us highlight videos to our station to talk about your support your dad, Darnell, not only Mark, your uncle, but another one of your uncles is in a big part of your life. How cool is it to have a family around you that really wants you to succeed at the next level?
It's amazing. Like, it's good to know that you have somebody that got your back, and you know that they want nothing but the best for you. So I just try to appreciate them every day. I talk to them every day, however long I can. I just thank them so much. We got a strong love for one another.
We're speaking with Derrian Ford right now on the Morning Rush, 2022 shooting guard out of Magnolia. I know you got a bunch of offers, man. Who all has reached out to you, and who's offered you a scholarship to play basketball?
It's 19 colleges, and Baylor was my first, Arkansas, Oklahoma State, Auburn, Texas Tech.
19, man. Wow.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty impressive. You're getting offers from all over the place. The virtual tour stuff, I know that that's been a point of conversation. What have you learned from the virtual tours that you've been on?
I know that there's a great coaching staff from the conversation that I have with the coaches, and I know that I would love to go visit the campuses, but due to Corona, that's not happening right now. But hopefully when it clears up, I'll be able to do that. I'm excited for the process and the journey.
Looking back to Arkansas up in Fayetteville, what was cool or what stood out to you with the virtual tour that they gave you?
Man, Arkansas was amazing. I had a great time up there. The coaches was amazing. They make you feel like family. And during that tour, we went to the cafeteria. That was my favorite part right there. I like to eat. I found out that they had the #1 nutrition program in the country. I had some chicken Alfredo, something like that.
Oh, I have heard nothing but good things about the food there.
It's amazing.
That's a luxury you definitely take advantage. So, Derrian, outside the food, which there's always good food in Fayetteville and in Arkansas, what else stood out to you about your visit to Arkansas?
Talking to the coaches, man, and watching the videos, I know that Coach Musk coached in the NBA. I just know that they can develop players like me to get them ready for the NBA, and that's a goal of mine to get to the NBA. They just make you feel like family, like it's more than basketball with them.
How do you measure a guy's NBA experience? Like, is that important to you for your college coach to know the NBA and have NBA experience?
I just would want a coach that knows how to get me ready for the league, that just develop me in the right way. And if I was to make it to the league, I wouldn't want to be lost. I just wouldn't want to be lost and not know what to do. Like, I would want to be ready.
I think that's a great way to explain it. So based on the conversations that you've had with Eric Musselman and his staff, do you think they're capable of doing that? Do you think they're capable of getting you ready for the next level?
I know from the videos that I watched of other players, it was a player that played, I think he went to Charlotte. He was talking about how Coach Musk got him so ready for the league that everything that they had worked on there, that they had worked on at the university he played for, that they did the same thing at the NBA combines and stuff. It was just in a different form. So that was a plus.
We're speaking with Derrian Ford, 2022 shooting guard out of Magnolia here on the Morning Rush. Derrian, I'm looking at your offer list right now. There's some great coaches. Bruce Pearl at Auburn, Bill Self at Kansas, Chris Beard at Texas Tech. What are some of the cool conversations that you've had with head coaches that have been offering you, just kind of the stuff that you've been talking with them about?
Well, with the coaches, we really hadn't even been talking about basketball. We've been talking about basically things that's going on in life. We were talking about religion. We were talking about fishing, horse riding. It's been more than basketball with all the coaches, and that's one thing that I like about the coaches that I've talked to so far. And like, they're not just worried about my talent on the court. They're concerned about what's going off the court too.
There's been a couple times that you brought up faith so far in this interview. How important is your faith to your daily walk of life?
That's the number one thing in my life, because without faith in God, nothing's possible.
That's a great answer, man. And Derrian, you mentioned fishing, man. Where do you like to fish?
I fish whenever I get a chance to. I was supposed to be fishing yesterday with my buddy, but I had to work out.
Basketball first, man.
Basketball first. I'm going to try to fish today, though.
Derrian, where do you like to fish, buddy?
We got a big lake, and then we got small ponds around the Magnolia, so where we can find fish at, that's where we'll go fish.
Derrian, what's the biggest fish you've ever caught, man?
Not a big one. I know that. It's not a big one. I be catching little fish. I be catching little ones.
Do you have a particular method, a particular use when you go fishing? How do you go about it when you go, man?
I just go for the fun of it. Like, it just takes my mind off basketball.
Just kind of a chill, relaxing type of thing?
They just like riding horses. It's just relaxing, give you something else to do.
Do you ride horses too, man?
Yes, sir.
Man, how'd you get started in riding horses, dude?
Well, I always liked horses, but I never knew anybody that had some. But when I found out about people who had them, I just went with them. I started learning how to ride, and so it's just been fun.
Have you ever gotten bucked off one before? That was always like one of my biggest scary things. If I ever got on a horse, is getting like bucked off or kicked off. Has that ever happened to you, man?
Now, I ain't been on horses that do a lot of bucking, but I've been around people who horses be bucking a lot.
Derrian Ford, 4-star 2022 shooting guard out of Magnolia. Derrian, you got anything else you want to share with our listeners? Just kind of what's going on with your recruiting process?
I'm living the process right now. I'm going to keep working on my craft. And I just thank you so much for letting me come on the show with you. And I had an amazing time talking to you.